Alright, so here's a brief overview of the Xperia Z Ultra. I've now had this phone for about a week, a little over a week, and so obviously we all know it's pretty huge. I'm 6'1", and honestly on the first day I got this phone, by the end of the day I was pretty sure I was going to return it because it was too big, but suddenly by the second day I completely fell in love with the screen. I realized there was no way I'm going to ever return it for its size. So obviously some good things about the phone. Obviously we all know it has a Snapdragon 800. This phone just absolutely flies. You know, there's just no slowdown in this device. Literally, it's the fastest phone I've used, and this is being filmed with my Note 2, and I mean, Note 2 is also really fast, and it doesn't really slow down, but you can definitely notice a speed improvement. So obviously, we all know we get this phone for the screen, and the screen is amazing, and coming from a line of Samsung devices, the overly saturated color issue is gone on this phone, and everything looks very natural, and obviously it's not quite as bright, but it's very pleasing to look at. And outdoors when it's sunny, I can actually see what's on my device. It's absolutely fantastic. So other things, battery life averages about 5.5 hours of screen time, which obviously if you're playing games is going to be lower, but it's not so bad. I'd say it's about average. I mean, maybe a little better than average. So I'm pretty happy to see that because I was a little worried reading some of the things online. So let's see some other good points. Obviously, I mean, this phone is very thin. It's very stylish. I mean, it really is an awesome device. I kind of wish I had the regular dedicated home button like Samsung does, so I don't have to kind of reach to this slightly awkward power button. But I mean, those are all small issues. So the big issue with this phone, which is actually why I'm considering returning it now, and literally it's the camera. And I know it might sound ridiculous, but the camera on this phone is awful. It's a 8 megapixel camera, and you know, I haven't been taking pictures through this film. I've been pulling it back. As you can see, I'm still kind of undecided with it, so I haven't removed the plastic film. But the camera on this phone is awful, and really awful, as in very, very bad. I mean, if in perfect light conditions, it looks like a photo from a phone from 2 years ago, and anything slightly darker, it literally looks like a photo from a phone 4+ years ago. My Xperia X1 from something like 2008 literally took better photos than this phone. And I'm not a big photographer, but coming from a Note 2, I like to be able to just take out my phone, click, take a photo, and have it come out to look good pretty much every time. And with this phone, that is absolutely not the case. And you know, you have friends who want to take a photo and look at this awesome screen and look at the photo, and to their amazement, they're like, "What is this? This is honestly the worst photo I've ever seen." And it's really kind of a letdown because everything else about this phone is pretty awesome. And obviously, I'd love it to be just a tad fatter and have a bigger battery, but battery life is good enough that I can't complain too much. So overall, I'd say this is a pretty awesome device, and the size, you really get used to it much more quickly than you think. The only other thing I'm actually slightly worried about is I've read someone on XDA was saying that from keeping it in their pocket, the phone got warped a little, and now when it sits on the table, it rocks. And I could totally see that because if you grab each edge of the phone, you can kind of bend it a little when you grab it from each side. And I could totally see if you're wearing this in your pocket a lot that the phone could literally just permanently be bent in an odd shape, which for one could break some water sealant, so it wouldn't be waterproof. But this really could be an issue. I could totally see that being a problem. And I haven't used the phone for that long, but if you're going to be constantly using it in a pocket, I would be a little worried that it's going to get deformed. It does fit in the pocket of my khakis pretty well, but since it's getting kind of cold out, I have been using it in my jacket pocket. But call quality is a little subpar, but it's okay. Speakerphone coming from a Note 2, I mean, speakerphone on the Note 2 is amazing. So the speakerphone is basically, if there's noise in the room, you're not going to be able to use it. In a quiet room, it's fine. Audio quality, volume is pretty low. I mean, it's okay. Again, if you're in a noisy room, it's not going to do, but in a quiet room, it's fine. Headphone volume, I mean, headphone jack is excellent. Other than that, I pretty much only have good things to say about this device. And, I mean, if you absolutely don't care about the camera quality, I recommend getting it, but literally, if you even enjoy taking one or two photos of your friends, you may want to reconsider. Otherwise, I mean, there isn't really anything comparable to this to get on the market. I guess Note 3 and Note 2 are pretty much it, so you really don't have a lot of choices. But yeah, it is a pretty awesome phone. And I'm guessing the Xperia Z Ultra 2 is going to be absolutely amazing because I mean this is the first iteration. Kind of can't wait. All right, that's about it.